What is up, everyone? DJ Martini Midwest Reviews coming at you with another video for my channel today. I have everything Oculus 3, including some accessories. I'm going to tell you about battery life, performance, for me having it for a couple weeks now and testing it out. So a lot of good information that you might be interested in finding out on the Oculus 3. So thank you for tuning in. DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. If you've never tuned in, just know I love to do reviews. I'm just here to help. I want to do that research for you so you don't have to. Give it to you as easy as possible, and then leave some links in case you're interested in some of the products that we talk about. So thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, and share if this is helpful at all. And join the Martini Nation and let's hit 5,000 subscribers this year. Thank you so much. The Oculus 3. Let's talk about this. And now usually I'll start with what is in the box. We're going to get there real quick, but I just want to say really quick, I just got rid of my Oculus 2. I had definitely compared it. I sold it so I can kind of get the rest of this paid off. And so I don't have the Oculus 2 anymore, but I still think it's a fantastic VR system for anybody that wants to start off in the VR world. So it's $200, which is a fantastic price to start off. It does have a lot of the cool technology that this has, but this one just takes it up just a little bit extra notches, and I definitely wanted to take advantage of that. The Oculus 2 is still, I will leave a link in the description in case you're still interested in that. I do have a past video on that as well, so check that out. But I still think it's a fantastic device. If you're looking for that impulse buy, you want to get into the VR world, and it's, $200, I still think that's a great price. All right, Oculus 3 though is what we're here to see, and so here is the box right here that you'll pick up when you purchase this from wherever you get it. They have smaller controllers. They change a lot. I'll kind of show some examples of the other one as well. I have heavily modified this, so I'll tell you what's different, but this is the actual unit itself. Pretty cool. You can see how they kind of have all the cameras and sensors. There's all kinds of things going on. We'll talk about that here in a second. This will be the original headband that you'll receive. It's kind of a stretchy headband here, but it is just like a material type headband. It works, it's a strap, but it's not super comfortable, and I would definitely recommend upgrading to something, no matter what it is, but I'll show you some options. You will get a little power brick and a USB Type-C cord on both sides, USB Type-C. That's not quite the original one, but I just want to show you that you will get something like that. And then you also get the remote controls. They are a lot different than the originals, and I'll flash a quick picture of what the originals look like on the Oculus 2. But these are a lot smaller. There's no of the track band type things. You can see the buttons on here, triggers. Buttons are very nice. You can see the fronts here. Very flat, very functional. You can see the joysticks work nicely, and they're very light too. Also take AA batteries. Quick issue when I was trying to find out how to get the batteries out, but there is a little mark right here, and then if you just push down on that, you can get that battery port to open, so you can get to the AA batteries that do come. You do get a pair of AA batteries in there for that, and they snap together. But once again, there's a little mark right here, and if you press right there, you'll be able to get that open. I had a little trouble with that. Other than that, that's all that's in the box. That's all you're going to receive, and you'll be good to go. But that's everything you need to take off. You'll fire it up, sign in. You do need a Facebook Meta account, so that's something to keep in mind. You will have to open an account to be able to use this. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the differences between them, and then we'll go into, these are going to be my pros. They're all going to be pros because they are. It's definitely an upgrade from the first Oculus 2. This is Oculus 3. So let's talk about, now, usually I'll say a pro is definitely the price point, but I am not going to say it is a positive here because this starts out at $500, which is definitely not an impulse buy. It's something that you're going to make an investment in. You're going to decide that you're going to be using this for different things. And I decided I'm definitely going to use it as more of that hybrid PC type VR, that I know that this will work very well for that, and I can plug it into my PC and I can play all the Steam or games that I want from VR with the Oculus 3, and it works really well. You can easily plug into Half-Life Alyx and you can play that from your PC on this Oculus device. Very, very cool. So it was kind of an upgrade for me, but I don't think the price is fantastic. I would be more happy if it would maybe came out at like $399 instead of $499, but I think it's a little bit pricey for me. So you can pick this up though, the 128 gig for the $499. It is $649 for a 512, which I really wanted to upgrade so I could keep a lot of games and things on it, but I just couldn't talk myself into almost $700 out the box with taxes and everything. So yes, I went with the 499 128 gig, but I did notice that, maybe they're compressing games a little bit more, that some of the files seemed a little bit smaller when I was downloading some of the games a little bit on the new Quest. So the new thing was the Snapdragon XR2 Gen 1. On the first version, the 3 has a Gen 2 chip, which they said is almost like double the performance of the old one. So definitely upgraded that. Resolution is improved. This has a 2064 by 2208 resolution compared to the 1832 by 1920 on the old version. And you opened your field of view as well. On the original, it had a horizontal and vertical. We're at 90, and now you have a 110 and 96 vertical, 110 horizontal. So very, very cool. So it definitely opened your field of view on what you can see in the headset. Original one had a grayscale. You could see through what you were looking at, but it was black and white. Grayscale, it didn't look fantastic. Sometimes it was almost so blurry you couldn't see certain things. The new one has a pass-through that meets like a virtual mixed reality that you can see everything. Clarity is fantastic. Sometimes it doesn't work fantastic. Textures might look a little weird. Things might look a little jittery. But for the most part, like I couldn't believe how it looks like you're looking through a camera and just looking at your surroundings. It's that clear, and so very, very cool on the pass-through. Hybrid, the controllers are different because they are hybrid controller that kind of not only work with computer, but they also do tracking as well. They upgraded the battery from a 3640 milliamp battery to a 5060 milliamp battery, but we'll talk about that in the negatives a little bit because I didn't see a lot of improvement, and only because I think you're just using more processing power, which is working the battery hard anyway. So still positive is the less eye strain, and because of the sharpness in this, I mean, everything looks really, really good. So you're going to get less eye strain, less things like that. If you still have issues with feeling, queasy or having, kind of like motion sickness type thing, this, no matter what, you're still going to get that. They do have some settings that you can adjust, but definitely can manage through. And with the sharpness, though, it does help a lot because you're not trying to focus on certain things a little bit more because everything is really clear, really sharp. So you lose a little bit of the eye strain, which might help some of that. So one of the biggest positives we have to go through is, the controllers are lighter. That's great. A little bit more battery life. That's great. But the pass-through is the most fantastic thing in this headset. Like I said, I can't explain how well, and I don't want to use Oculus's videos to show that, but basically the pass-through, and I tried to show a little video, which I'll show in the corner here, of what you kind of see, and it's not going to be fantastic because I try to use my phone. And there's so many sensors in that when you move the headset away from your head, it actually shuts down. So I can only show you a quick clip of what it looks like, what you saw there, but you can see your surroundings very well with the, whatever screen you're looking at as well. And you can also make your computer a giant monitor in your headset if you're hooked up to your computer, so you can still do office work and still look around. If you can disconnect easily, and you can still have a browser in your headset, but you can walk around your house because you can still see everything around you. You're not losing perspective to the world. You're not shutting yourself off. You can still see around you, hear around you, those types of things. The speakers also in this device are fantastic. They sound really good. The microphone is not the best, but it still works really good. I've heard a lot of people kind of bash the microphone on this. So if you do want really good, you can easily Bluetooth a headset or earbuds or those types of things if you want a little bit more improvement with sound or the microphone. Let's go to some of the accessories real quick, and then we'll go into some negatives and get you out. Just kind of like I said, want to do a basic review and get most of this out to you. One absolute thing that I want to recommend is the this device here from Desk Tech, and I will leave a link for it. It's $34, $34.99, but it is the very, very best, in my opinion, a headband that you can use with the Oculus, and I'll show you why here in just a second. But $34, and it works really, really good. It has many points of contact. That way it can kind of relieve some of the strain of the heaviness of this, and I'll show you how heavy it gets because there's a lot of things you can put on this. Extra batteries. I also have a battery too that I'll show you from Molechi, and it says it is a battery pack, and it can give you an extra hour or so with the battery pack, and it's $24.99, which is a great deal as well. I picked up lens protectors, $16.99 and $7.99 on a silicone part that I'll show you here. And I'm going to leave links for all those items so we don't have to go over that too crazy, but I'll definitely show you all this on here. So here's my battery pack from Molechi, $25, works pretty good. It is made to go on your original piece here, but like I said, since I modified it, it will not fit on this anymore, so I kind of made it fit on the headband. And you could put some Velcro on it, that way it'll stay in place. You can see this kind of slides around, so if you're jumping or doing anything crazy, I don't usually jump or anything, but gravity will just hold the battery down. If you could definitely put a little Velcro piece on there, and it would just hold it in place, no problem. And you can see that the cable is just big enough that it fits in there, that I can plug it in perfectly. So the battery is nice. Also, I picked up a silicone rubber piece here, which is going to help from sweat. And now, if you can see on here, this back piece, it is of a different kind of material. I can't, it's not really vinyl, a little bit different than vinyl. And over time, and I've seen this with my very first PlayStation VR, that material breaks down and basically falls apart, and it's pretty crazy. So after a long time of sweating and those types of things, it's going to start breaking down. And so a nice silicone piece is going to save the front of your, at least the front material in there, and you can easily wipe the silicone down and clean it and those types of things, and it's going to make it last a little bit longer. So I absolutely recommend that. You can see here I have a protector in here for the lenses that comes with this headband here, so that's pretty cool, and it goes in there nicely, fits perfectly, and you can protect the lenses in there. Also, I did like the silicone piece on here because it does kind of block some of the light from coming in. That way, if you're watching a movie or something in there, it's going to black out light a little bit more and make it a little bit more viewable, because I don't like when light's piercing in your eyes and you're trying to watch, you know, something a little bit darker here in the headset. So that does help as well. And like I said, battery, the actual case, it's headband itself. I'll put this on real quick. You can see that it has multiple points of contact here on the back of your head. It's got this tightener that works fantastic. When it locks in, it's not moving. And then you also have one on the top of your head, which can help too. And you can tighten that, and you can lift it up, which can take some of the strain off of your eyes. But you can see that it's holding on very well. And like I said, with that silicone band, it's also blocking some of the light on there, so it's almost completely dark. I get a little bit of light here by my nose, but other than that, it's pretty good. I also bought protectors for this right here, and lens protectors for all the cameras and sensors on the front, and a protector plastic piece on the front of this, because I've seen my son bash the controller into the front of this, and so if you're scratching those components, you're going to notice that later. So definitely all those accessories I absolutely recommend, because like I said, protect the lenses, protect the unit itself from scratches. You can buy replacement controllers, but they are pretty pricey. They do have pro controllers too that you can purchase if you want a little bit more better sensory and stuff. They have some pro controllers that are kind of pricey, but you can get them. I would absolutely recommend using the wrist holders on there. Put them around your wrists, because if you don't, this controller is lighter, and I can absolutely see it's sliding out of your hand. So use all those accessories as well. Let's talk about some of the negatives here. I don't have a lot. I'm actually really impressed with this. My only negatives is I wish the price was a little bit lower. I'm being a little bit picky here, but it was definitely an investment to this, and especially since they have a bigger memory system. I think if you put something like a 512 at $499, I would have definitely bought the 512. And if you would have put even the 128 at $399, I I would have jumped to the 512 because that would have been a better price point for that. And you're paying for the storage, I understand that, but I think it just would have been a little bit better price point, and it would have made me want that more for the storage. So, but I don't like that the price of the unit so far. The microphones, like I said, I've heard some terrible stories about them and how they don't work very well. We'll talk about games. Now, they did improve games. Games do look better in this headset, and they've made them better resolution and things like that. Some still don't look as good as others if they've, revised them or things like that. But they do have a lot more games that they're coming out for this. I hope they come out with more. But so far, games is kind of a negative because there's not a lot out there, but there is a few, and the ones that they do have look pretty good. That is one thing. The head strap, like I said, you automatically need to upgrade it. So I wish they would kind of just come out with something a little bit better than the head strap that they have. But once again, costs and all those types of things. But something like this is definitely something the way you want to go. So you're going to be spending cash on upgrading certain things for a little bit more comfort on this right away. Long play sessions, I do notice that you do feel the weight of this. This is pretty heavy. It could easily weigh about 3-4 pounds. And so when you're wearing that on your head, you'll definitely get a little fatigue from that. And so having something like a good headband on there that can take pressures off certain areas is definitely going to make it feel better, but it is heavier. And so for long game plays, you might feel that. Other than that, I think the battery life is one other thing I want to talk about. They say they improved the battery life. They did give it a bigger battery, but unfortunately, I really think that the battery just gets dragged down because of the mixed reality and the pass-through and all the cameras and sensors it's using, and the Snapdragon chip version 2, Gen 2. It's just using more processing power, so it's draining that battery about the same. And so I really only saw about 2 hours with the Oculus 2, and I'm really only seeing about 2 hours with the Oculus 3. So I really don't see an improvement in battery life, and that's why I still have a battery pack for it. And then I can get an extra hour or so of battery life if I need that. I really don't need that, honestly, but it is nice to have just in case maybe I'll forget to charge it. And I can just plug it in and it can charge while it's using that battery. So it's still a nice little extra feature to have, but I won't do longer than an hour. I do kind of have some motion sickness at times with certain games or certain things. So usually I'm playing about an hour at a time, and I'll usually charge the device after I use it, or I'll just plug it into the, like I said, the battery pack, and it will charge the item and shut it down when it's done. So very cool there. So just some options for you to take a look at, and just some negatives there so you can think about as well. Final thoughts. Man, I really think the Oculus 3 is a great improvement over the Oculus 2. I still think if you're just looking to dabble into the VR world, the Oculus 2 is a great start at $199. But if you're looking for a little bit more, if you're looking to use it with your PC, you kind of want to see what mixed reality looks like, then this is a great option. Definitely a great option. There are some glasses that you can do that with as well, but this is definitely a great version of it. And it has software and games and things that you can do with it right now. So definitely very cool. And if you want to learn what that looks like and how fun it is and what you can use it in the office and things like that at home, it's definitely a great option. So at $499, a little bit pricey in my opinion, but worth it in the long run if you do consider an investment on what you're going to be using it for at home and what you can use it for as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. It's been DJ Martini, Midwest Reviews. A lot of information. Hopefully maybe a little bit was helpful, and if it did help you, give me a like or subscribe. Thank you so much. I got so much more tech tutorials and videos coming out this year, and some zingers that I might throw in there as well. So please like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you really soon on my next video.